Mit ihrem eigenen Blut wird sie bezahlen. Sie wird es saufen in ihrem eigenen Blut.
Oh, God. That's so great. It's so perfect from where I left off, too. I listened to 10 minutes of that, and all I hear is Chrissie Mayr going, I hate men, I hate men, I hate men, and I just fixated on it. I went, oh.
Oh, that was...
That was something.
Scissoring never gets old.
Well,
No.
that was a surprise.
Wow.
Okay, Bond totally did that without me knowing, which makes it even funnier. And I love it. So thank you, Bond. You know, the first thing he said when he saw that I was on Chrissy's show, he says, she didn't thank me. I'm like, what? What? Oh, you needy, needy men. Jesus Christ.
I hate men, right?
I hate men. Hate them all.
My
Hate
friend
anything with a
Brendan
penis.
said that David and I scissor now on the Deppening sometimes. Two guys. Oh, by the way, did you know David's heterosexual hall pass is Janine Garofalo?
Really?
you
She's
could have sex with
she's
a
barely female.
She was
She's
really cute in the
that's
90s.
really not.
she was cute for like 5 minutes in her best year, her best month, her best fucking day.
He's talking
Seriously.
about hating men. Janine Garofalo hates men more than I do.
So, to answer the chat, I'm having a vanilla mule tonight because it's hotter than hell down here.
Yeah,
wow.
I'm surprised at how hot it is by you. Let me see. It's 75 here. And I just put the AC back on because it was getting a little warm in here.
Getting a little warm.
So anyway, if any of you missed it today, as you can see behind Dennis's back there, I was on Chrissie Mayr's show. It's so funny that you picked that picture. I was on Chrissy's show, and we had a lot of fun, and I really enjoyed it. It was really, really good. She's really easy to talk to. She's super sweet, and before we got on air, we were like, well, what are we talking about today? She's like, oh, you just want to touch base with what's going on with Howard and you and, with the show and stuff like that. I was like, oh, all right, well, or we can just talk about stuff so that I can, know you better and you can know me better and whatever. And that's what we wound up doing. She happened to give me a poo test at the end of the show.
What?
Well, apparently there's a whole thing.
Intrusive, wasn't it?
Oh my God. Oh. I wasn't sure how it was going to be going.
Oh, Winnie the Pooh. Oh,
yeah, and I wound up being Tigger. And Tigger with a hard R.
Richardson over here.
Tigger with a hard R.
Tigger, huh?
Tigger. Yeah, I was Tigger, which means apparently
only
that I have like a little
of the time.
ADHD. Yeah, she was wondering about the 17%
17% of the time.
So of course I had to explain to her my genetic background and makeup.
Oh, I
and
thought you meant
stuff
Howard's
like that.
book. 17 pages.
Do I even have a link for that show that I can post?
Yeah, it was on YouTube. I just listened to about 10 minutes of it. And when she said I hate men, I just stopped.
And you said, this is my favorite person in the whole wide world now. You know what? And also, just so you all know, my site is down. So I can't even go there to access what it is. So if somebody else has it and you want to put it into the chat, by all means do so. But I will link it at the bottom of the page when we're done with the show. Xavier, hi. Okay, then.
How do I sound? Am I low? Am I
No,
low?
you're fine.
No, but don't yell. You sound just
gonna
right.
adjust my mic again?
Okay, so you shouldn't be on. Hold on, I'm gonna fix you
Tamara
right now.
Francois, yesterday's show was about Beth
every
passing
time
out.
you guys adjust it, and then I get the, he's too low. He's too low.
You were a little
So,
bit on the
I
low
mean-
side yesterday. So take off echo cancellation and keep on auto adjust.
You know what? You do what you need to do,
I
but
got
then
it.
don't
I
get
got
slow.
it. I got it. I got it. I got it. I got it.
Beth has Beth-strionic personality disorder, and she passes out now as her go-to for attention. If you read the bullet points, which you've done many times, and Johnny Depp's psychologist did as well, Shannon Curry, she has all the elements of histrionic personality disorder, and one of them is to fake illnesses and pass out for attention anytime shit doesn't go your way.
This is Beth Strionics. Yes,
Yes.
that's exactly what we spoke about yesterday.
And,
So the chat happened to have been fully animated before we got on air, and Sam
And Radio
V
Gunk is back on.
Oh, okay. So I guess
Just popped up.
Haji
All right,
must have read
Haji.
All right, how'd you coming
I
through?
guess we were waiting for all the checks to clear from all of our subscribers.
All the super chats checks. Sam V says, I smell
not
Radio
even that.
Gunk.
I'm talking about like foreign
What?
checks.
Yeah, okay. Yeah, calm down on that. I smell Radio Gunk hooking up with Shuli soon. I don't know why I've got this feeling. There's going to be a lot of kissing and hugging soon as if nothing happened. Wrong.
That's funny.
Wrong. I don't see that happening. And as I told Chrissy today, she's like, why do you pick on Shuli so much? I was like, because it's fun. Because he takes life too seriously. Because
He takes himself seriously.
It's a fucking joke. You know, the reality is, we as a podcast, even though, like, yeah, we can hate on Howard and do stupid things like that. The reality is, we're not mean. Like, we're not dicks, and so that makes the difference to me because we're not really. No,
We're
not
dicks. Come on.
No, we're not. But we're not.
Let's not get crazy.
We're dick-ish. We're dick-ish. We're not.
Okay.
We're not as mean as some other people
At
are.
my core, I'm a very nice guy and a mensch.
You know what though? It's
and I
our
hate
fault.
men.
'Cause do you remember when we were on the Jay Thomas show? And all those viewers we had, listeners.
No.
And we couldn't parlay that to anything else.
Oh, you're talking about that guy who used to be a hack who now just
the
runs
hack
a show.
guy.
No. Talk about
The heck
us.
guy.
We were on the Howard Stern show. We were on.
We have
Jay
millions of
Thomas show.
viewers every week. Yeah, I know.
Yeah,
And then we
yeah,
parlayed it into
exactly.
this show where we have a
And he
huge
gets, like, 2
audience.
listeners, unless he has like 20
Tens of people.
hacks.
And then there was the whole story today where since I was PMing back and forth with Chrissy, I saw that, I believe that Opie interviewed the potato person,
Yeah.
Cardiff
Wahoo?
Electric. I don't even know. I don't know from the
What's
potato.
a potato person? Is this like someone from Idaho? I'm
John,
confused.
can you
Irish
explain it to them?
I've vaguely seen it, and what it seems to me is some dude's doing kind of like a shtick where he doesn't want to show his face, but he's showing like an animated potato, and he's doing almost like a Mr. Whiskers, very similar. If Whiskers was animated, and
If
he's
Whiskers
kinda
was
doing-
animated,
yeah,
exactly.
Right, that's what he's doing.
And
I
all you
think.
saw was like the eyeballs
we've
and the
done
mouth.
Animated whiskers.
There's a potato and a banana. Yes,
Right.
yes. Remember when you used to do the animated whiskers? That's exactly what it's like, except it's a
Absolutely, we got
potato.
animated whiskers.
So he had a
Whiskers just
potato
dies
on.
all the time.
He had a potato on, but I am in week 375 of waiting for him. So as I was PMing with Chrissy, I just put a question mark next to his name. And he said, how about tomorrow? Are you good for 7 a.m.? I'll send you a link. And I'm like, oh, you motherfucker.
He does an afternoon show though too. He'll pop on, and that's what you should do because that's
Well-
you at your circadian rhythm.
Believe me, I know. And
Circadian rhythm.
I figured I would just, check my email at 7 a.m. and see if it's a something. And then I told Dennis I'm going to ride my bicycle over to the park where you can, where there's like a perfect sunrise. And I'm going to do exactly what he does.
Who are you, Peter Horton on 30-something over there?
Bon Jovial, do you want to give us a thought on what was it we were talking about? Not Shuli. The potato.
Chrissie Mayr?
No,
Oh,
Bon
potato.
Jovial. What do you know about the potato? Do you want to come on and talk to us about it? Okay, so it's Cardiff and Corndiff. I
And
don't
it's all in
understand
that
it.
dabbler
Huh? What?
community,
Cardiff and
Monique.
Corndiff?
It's all derivative off that.
It's
dabbler
such a multiverse.
Yeah, it's just right. The multiverse. That's what.
It's a multiverse.
they
It's
all
the
a
dabbler
multiverse
off
that
each
works.
other.
And I said to her today, I'm like, I'm not really sure how much more time you can pick at that scab, before it actually falls off and there's nothing left
It
to
fell
pick.
off already, bro.
Yeah.
So
Chrissy created the whole thing. If anything, she's responsible for just merely saying the word dabbler, and that took on a life of its own. It completely snowballed into what you see now. If that word dabble didn't happen, I don't think any of this would happen.
No, I mean,
She
we
looked
would-
It's been a
confused.
fad since Where's the Beef Lady?
but the thing about her is, and like I told her today, it didn't wind up being the essence of who she is on her show. She could have easily been the one who transferred it into being something about
Right, she could have. Right, she could have.
dabbler,
Good
and
for
she didn't.
her.
Good for her. Okay, Bon Jovial
for
obviously doesn't want to
you.
come on air. Says the potato was okay. He interviewed Casey the other day. He's not a bad interviewer. Yeah, he had sent me an email about coming on his show. Let me see if I can find that really quickly for you guys.
That's sweet. Gunga Din. Bon Jovio doesn't have time for us now. He's working on the Emily Stern podcast.
Shalom.
Says, good morning, Monique. I would like to formally invite you on our podcast to discuss the controversy. Please let me know if you are available. Oh, this is why I never replied. Please let me know if you're available this afternoon. It's like, okay, when you invite somebody on your show, you can't just arbitrarily decide that it's that day. You just can't. That's just that's
like
rule
DMing
number one.
Someone you up?
Well, like today. So I wasn't supposed to be with Chrissy today. It was supposed to be tomorrow. And they're like, oh, shit, we fucked up. I'm like, you're going to make me shower now. That's what you made me do.
Terrible.
You made me shower.
Wait, were you booked on the same day as Jenny McCarthy and Jewel?
Yes, I do know. Boss, we had a little trouble.
Yes,
It was a bit of a stumble.
it's a bit of a stumble.
Let's not forget, Shuley was part of the worst of the worst of the worst of the worst of the worst
Worst
years
of the
of
worst.
the Stern Show. He enabled Howard like a lemming motherfucker that he is. He is the only reason he quit is because he was not getting enough. He's an air whore and he wasn't getting enough of it. That's not about his wife. The real reason he quit is he wasn't getting on air enough.
How do you
and he
quit the only gig that you have that is providing a steady like I just don't understand people quitting. So that's why I never believe when somebody says they quit because
There's no way he just quit.
there's no
way.
comprehension in my brain
way.
to ever you don't ever quit a job ever. You get more money from your next employer if you're working. If you're making $100,000 and you quit your job, there's no way they're offering you $100,000.
Now think
because
about
they
what a
know you need the job.
podcast whore he is, right? He does a zillion podcasts a day, and they wouldn't let him do any when he was on Howard. You really think he's going to stick around? The air whore he is.
Again, steady income. No, I think you have a wife and 2 children. You go for the steady income.
Yeah, but she seems to be earning real money, and he
Does
doesn't.
she? What does she do?
Who knows? But obviously, they bought that house, and it wasn't from him.
But you moved to Alabama to even the score.
Alabama.
It's not New York, right?
Alabama.
Let's be honest.
They pulled a reverse Clampets.
Oh,
Yeah,
Rupert
exactly.
Pumpkin is saying that Shuley said Stern Show offered him a 50% pay cut. Yeah, they probably wanted him to go freelance. Let's be honest. That's what that is.
50%
That's what
Yeah.
that means.
I think
What-
he
what are we
admitted that.
talking
Almost nothing.
They were overpaying him. That doesn't sound like a. Hey, listen, as you guys are more like the Stern connoisseurs, I'm more like the casual fan. The reason people hate Shuley is because when Arnie committed suicide and then the show went into that bizarro not talking about what the fuck was going on, Shuley had the audacity of taking a picture in the Jackie chair and then posting it, like kind of like he was going to be the next person in line. That's when he went from incognito Joe Blow staffer to who the fuck are you? And
Well, how about the whack
to
pack
me-
Schadenfreude? Is there anything
Yeah.
worse than punching down on retarded
the
people?
moment to me where, because Artie used to bust on him, call him the hack pack and all that other shit.
Yeah.
That was a moment like, dude, this guy's a fucking cunt. And, sorry.
Guys, I'm begging you. Come on, we're trying.
Okay, yeah. But that, to me, as the more of the fan, like, that's when, like, he became hated. And you know what?
Here, let me
He's
give you a
done nothing to
little.
redeem himself since.
And when you go in, he has no charisma. I don't care how many reps you put in. I don't care how bad you
Oh, my
want
dear
it.
God.
Don't follow your dreams. We don't want you to follow your dreams. You just hate it. I don't care what dues you think you paid. People just hate you. And there's no comedy class that can teach that. Just quit.
Jesus.
Okay.
Really?
hold on.
That's the act?
Hold on.
That's from, like, isn't that ripping off Annoying
Here we
Orange?
go.
You've been asked this before, but I need to know. It's brilliant, and
I have.
you had Levy
It is.
like a 12-year-old, a 12-year-old with Down syndrome,
Hurricane.
With the headphones
so
on
excited
the potato.
because you were flying back and forth.
Yes. Very, very simple to entertain Bob Levy.
Please, why don't you know?
Okay, so that's the
Yeah,
potato.
that's funny.
Wow, that's
It is
actually
funny.
kinda-
You gotta admit,
funny,
it's
dude.
fucking funny.
The potato, I did. So there was a guy
With the eyes, the
doing
mouth.
a
I mean, just
recap show
everything about
of
this
another
kills me.
podcast that WATP covered, and he was doing it.
All right. It's funny, yet it's nightmare fuel all at the same time.
That is my
literally-
sleep paralysis demon right there.
Yeah.
You guys are
Good Christ.
familiar with the Annoying Orange?
No, who's that?
But it's funny.
Trying
An
Annoying
orange?
orange?
A talking orange?
Yeah, the Annoying
sure
Orange.
that's where he
Been
comes
around
from.
for like almost 10 years.
Well, anyway, somehow there's a banana and there's a potato, and they both do this stuff. And so Cardiff stole the potato bit. From whom?
Oh, God. Imagine stealing that shit from Run with that.
This is way too much information.
Johnny O'Brien. That's
I
where he
don't
stole it
understand
Look
it.
up
And
annoying orange right now. Look up.
I don't even care because he gets more views than we do. So there you go. I guess the potato's doing something right.
Well,
from. Do we have to be all have to be vegetables now?
Here we go.
Is that what we need to do?
Just pointing out what the obvious.
Yeah, well, you know what? It's okay. I'm really good with it. I think Cardiff is actually goofy and silly and funny. So I've got no problem with him. I'm not into the whole Chad Zumick thing and, the whole love-hate thing they have with like this steel toe radio. I try to keep up with it, but there's not enough time in the day to care about these people. Honestly, there's just not enough time. All right, so let's talk about something exciting.
Yeah, I could be a yam, Monique, as Olivelle says.
A yam.
Turn me into a yam.
Slightly
That's
orange.
a great nickname for someone. Yam. Hi, I'm Arm the Yam, and I hate men.
Healthy carbs.
Trinity Jean.
Yeah, I'm an eggplant.
Half a potato
Hanker.
right in the trash.
Throw that racist out of you. Who's the egg? I'm the eggplant, Hanker.
Yeah, the Moulignon.
I'm
Yes.
the Moulignon, yes.
Yeah, the original Moulignon. With no hard R. So today's show, I will apologize in advance for not actually. Joke Man hung up on Cardiff a year ago. This was pre-potato.
Wow,
wait, so he was something else before he was a potato?
I think he tried corn and it wasn't as good.
Okay. I just don't know enough about that. Oh, Arm is not a yam. He's David's sweet potato.
Scissoring sweet potato.
Oh, so cute. Okay, so the good news about me being on with Chrissy 2 hours today is the fact that I don't have any clips other than some stuff that I recorded before Smashing Pumpkins came in. And then I did, in fact, go online to review what Bring Back Jackie wrote. And it was a couple of stupid thoughts that 79 had about Smashing Pumpkins. And so that's what I've got for tonight. So with that in mind...
Monique, I'm sorry to interrupt you. I'm just
no,
gonna
you're not.
cut off.
You're not. You're absolutely not sorry.
I have to switch chairs right now, so I'm going to mute out because I'm at a 120-degree angle. And
You
I
are
wanna
so
be at
cute.
90.
All you had to do was put yourself on mute, and I would not have been the wiser. Just so you know.
Oh, okay. I just wanted to.
So thank you for interrupting.
The responsible thing was.
You're being a good boy. Thank you. Okay. Thank you. Okay.
Yeah,
So. Yeah. What?
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 Nothing.
Huh?
Oh, Jesus Christ. Okay. I
Continue.
see how we're going tonight. All right. So I literally wound up with 13 clips tonight.
I can't believe you got 13 out of that. I really can't.
This is-
I'm
this
shocked.
is-
13
yeah, this
sounds
is-
a little high.
This is literally pulling water from the dried sponge. This is what this is. There's nothing here. There's nothing here. So let's start our show with him. So excited to see Smashing Pumpkins, who were in last year, May. And I'm not sure he was with Perry Farrell, something like this. I can't remember.
I don't try to memorize that stuff. I just don't.
We don't care. So
Now,
here,
is
let's
Billy
listen.
Corgan one A or 3 Bs? What was the ratio of
It's a level of guest.
celebrities? Yeah.
Celebrity. He's
Well,
three
he likes
Bs.
having
As an
him in,
example.
and he thinks that per this clip, as you'll hear now.
Why am I in a good mood? Because today we're going to talk to a genius.
Genius.
No, not Robin. We know she's a genius. I'm talking about Billy Corgan of Smashing Pumpkins.
Yeah, okay. Because that's the only song he knows, basically, by them.
Tonight? Yeah.
Maybe 2 or 3 songs. So I was looking at Billy Corgan.
1995, wasn't it?
But,
Yeah, their career
27
ended
years
like
ago.
1998. It literally
pretty
ended.
much,
Oh, dude, that's
pretty
being
much
nice,
over.
dude.
I am being generous. I'm being very generous.
Yeah, the Infinite Sadness was the last good thing they did. That was like 95 or something. like
Yeah, so let's. I want to do a quick review on that. Hold on,
Little buddy, AID. Despite all my rage, I'm still this is Z in a cage.
Yeah,
All right,
Crazy
so-
Robin. I thought he was a fruit basket too for a while. I agree.
Yeah, I think he still is.
So,
He might still be.
show of hands, except for you, Xavier, because for some bizarre reason you're like weirdly idiot savant with all this music. But
Okay.
show of hands for what songs we know. from
Okay.
Smashing Pumpkins
Yes.
and or Billy
Okay.
Corgan. 1979.
Yes.
Shake
Bullet
down.
with Butterfly
Yes.
Wings.
Despite
Tonight,
all my
tonight.
rage.
Yes.
Tonight.
Yes.
Cherub Rock.
Yes.
I never heard of
Oh,
it.
that's Cherub Rock's
No,
the
Cherub Rock.
best song.
You've heard it. You've heard it.
Sometimes the
It's their best
title
song.
does not indicate what the
Disarm.
song you would
I'm
know
not
from
so
the
sure. No, I don't think I
Disarm?
know that one. I don't think I know that one.
That's about me.
Zero. I know.
Now we're going to level 3. Zero.
Zero. I know.
Ava Adore.
No.
Yes, I know.
Mayonnaise.
No.
No, I know. I can't believe it's not mayonnaise.
Stand Inside Your Love. See?
No.
No, I don't know.
Now, okay, so once you get to the 4th row and you don't know a single song,
Miracle Whip.
I don't
Not
even
a very,
know these
Not
three.
a genius. Not
So
a genius.
I'm going to give you 6 songs that most people would know. I'll give you 6.
My
But-
favorite song is "I," which is from the Scream soundtrack. From them.
Not
I
even
don't
on
know
the
if it's
list
on
here.
there. Yeah, they don't.
I
Yeah,
Am
there,
There it
One.
is.
bottom left.
There it is
bottom
on the
left.
bottom.
Yeah.
There it is.
Oh, I. Okay.
Yep.
gotcha.
I.
I.
Well,
I
the
can't
last
sleep.
the last thing they actually did was for the soundtrack of Watchmen for the beginning and the end.
Oh, did they
Who?
really?
One of the best trailers ever produced. The trailer was 10 times better than the movie.
The Zack
Have you
Snyder
remember-
or the TV show?
Yeah, the Zack Snyder. It was absolutely one of the most genius trailers ever, which was 1,000 times better than the movie. And they
Well, of
did,
course it
that
was.
was their music.
With no correlation to the movie whatsoever, right?
None.
They put in a cool song, they slow it down, they have lots of sound effects and the best parts of the movie, and that's what
I believe
makes
it's
a
called
show
The
these
Beginning is
days.
the End or something like that.
I don't know anything. All right, so that's what he's doing today. He's
Well-
talking to a genius. So we're going to see that
Genius.
genius
Like
manifested
it's a
later
cruel
on
summer.
while he talks
You know-
about. What?
You know how you know that Billy Corgan's a genius? He'll tell you.
Oh, he's
Yes, he will.
happy to tell you.
Yes, he will.
He is happy to
to.
tell you many, many times over. This is what he
Did you ever
does.
hear George Michael on Howard in K Rock? I'm no,
No.
WNBC. He was on Howard
Oh
at
my
WNBC?
just before they went to K Rock.
That's
I had
before
it
my time.
on.
Wow.
Oh God, it's an interesting interview. It's literally 1985.
I
When
don't
he
think
was
it's ever
hot.
been replayed though. So
No, it doesn't replay much. It doesn't replay
No.
much.
Oh, hello, Bon. What's up?
I had to come on because I'm a huge Smashing Pumpkins fan, and all of the songs
sorry.
the songs you were just talking about were from Siamese Dream, which is
Not Tonight,
epic.
Tonight.
Smashing Pumpkins.
Zero.
Not all of them. Sorry. Zero and Tonight at Melancholy, but the really good ones are from Siamese Dream. The Cherub Rock is the first song on Siamese Dream, and that is an awesome song. And I
That's a
just
great video,
got
too.
this. I can't believe I just got this in my email 15 minutes ago.
What?
And this will just show you how badly tickets are selling to their tour because they're coming here. And let
Wow.
me share this. This just came 15 minutes ago, and it's already getting freaking discounts. Window.
wow. They just announced the tour today.
Today.
Who are you,
Which is
Matt
like-
Pinfield?
well,
over
yeah,
there?
2 weeks ago
Yesterday
for
for
Australia.
you.
No, that was like
All right,
2
hang
weeks
on.
ago for Australia.
There's $40 off the ticket price
Holy
there.
crap.
See?
Wow.
Special offer.
With Jane's Addiction and Emil and the Sniffers.
Yeah.
What?
Who can miss that?
Oh dear Lord, that sounds like 3 hours of
Is it the
hell.
original Jane's Addiction?
Torture. It's the kind of thing where you go to setlist.com and you just look at what the songs are on the set list and pray to God that you get through the rest of them. I hate going to a concert like
Ah, you
that.
know
I mean,
what? You know
Jane's
what fill
Addiction
those-
has 2 songs.
You know what fill those seats? Surely
They
open
have,
for
you know
'em.
what? They were never like a poppy band. They have some like kind of cool grooves that you know.
That's
probably have
fine.
a
And
mountain
when
shit like that.
Bon, when
Yeah.
did that album come out? The one you're talking about that has all those good songs on it.
That was
Oh, that was like
93,
91.
I think.
Yeah,
93.
Siamese
90s.
Dream was
Okay.
93.
30 years ago.
Would you
Yeah.
right? Would
Yeah.
you say he peaked 30 years ago?
Oh, he peaked with Melancholy and the Infinite Sadness. It was all downhill after that. He did
Everybody peaked 30
Adore
years
the
ago.
next year, which had Ava Adore, and that's when he proclaimed that rock was dead after Melancholy, and he made Adore, which was an more electronic album. But then a couple of years later, he decided that didn't really work, and he went back for this album called
Well, Bond, he fired
Machina.
everybody in the band. That's why.
Yeah, well, they quit.
He literally
Yeah,
fired everybody in the
James, the
fucking band.
guitarist, and the
Asian
bass
guy,
player,
The girl, yeah.
Darcy
Girl, the
Retzky.
Asian guy.
And she's
girl,
not
the
involved.
Asian guy.
Kid.
She's And Jimmy Chamberlain had to be fired because he was so addicted to drugs that a guy died with him when they were wasted.
Oh, well.
And
Hey,
now
that's
Jimmy's
why.
back. So Jimmy's like the greatest drummer, such a great drummer. So it's great that Jimmy's back. But I've been listening to their new album. They've done a three albums in the last year, 3-album series,
Jesus.
all under the one name, and he put it out in different installments, and it's all right, but it's not the same. And he's got a third guitarist in there. So it's this guy who joined like 10 years ago when James wasn't in the band, and it's weird. It's not bad. It's not.
Man,
Do you think
the
that
music's
their
okay.
Do you think that their body of work is deserving of being in the Rock and Roll Hall of Fame?
Oh yeah, definitely.
Really?
No,
What does that even
absolutely
mean?
not.
For Siamese
all-
Dream and Melancholy, yeah, for sure.
All right.
For sure.
After they put Alice in Chains in, then they could start considering Smashing
Well, that's
Pumpkins.
weird. Alice,
Isn't
you're
Donna
right.
Summers in
You
the
mentioned
Rock and
that.
Roll
I'm sorry.
Do you
You
want to be
mentioned that
inducted into
yesterday, yeah.
anywhere where John Hine and Gary have a vote?
That's
Does
the
it
thing,
mean
John.
anything at
That's
this
what.
point?
That's
And
what.
Howard.
That's
And
what
Howard, right? Especially Howard, right?
Musicians will
Posers.
talk about the Hall of Fame and just say, who cares? Because
Right.
everyone's going to get in eventually, okay?
Yeah, but they do care. But they do
Dennis
care.
is right. Alice in Chains should have been in the year after, Nirvana.
the reality
or,
is-
Eligible.
The reality is when you're putting people in now like the Spinners, okay, who were relative or important in the 1970s, they're not going to be around that much longer. All the
No.
Spinners are going to have spun their top. Ida, thank you so much. Billy Corgan raised a lot of money after the 4th of July shooting in my town. Oh, right. Ida was mentioning earlier that he lives nearby, right? He and his wife have a coffee tea shop with a performing venue in the back. I didn't go.
The problem with Billy is that he keeps coming back every 2-3 years
Right.
with a new gimmick.
Fake retirements.
Yeah.
right?
Yeah,
Back- come-
4 or 5
Mike
years ago,
Prince.
it was this whole tour playing all of his hits, and it was extremely pretentious.
The-
And
He's extremely pretentious.
Yeah,
though.
the Who
a
Who
douche.
laugh at
He's
him
a
for
total
for final tours.
Yeah. The Stones laugh at him.
But I think Billy Corgan's greatest accomplishment is he is the greatest combination of skinny fat I've ever seen in my entire
his
Yes.
weight
He's
like Uncle
fluctuates.
Fester.
life. Yeah,
He
Danny
has the
Manning's got nothing on
scarf,
him.
of course. Howard loves the scarf, so
Yes.
that's why he likes
It's
Billy
also
does.
pretentious. It's almost pathetic. I could not listen to it today. I mean, we can actually, go right to that, but I'd rather wait because a lot of the clips that John has piggyback onto that.
Yeah.
So that we can talk about that.
Casey was bringing up Courtney Love, and I put that whole feud in there. It, literally from '90, the first time he ever did the show was the Private Parts premiere on the E Channel with Marilyn Manson and Joan Rivers. Joan Rivers simulated going down on Marilyn Manson in this strange interview.
Joan
the stuff I
Rivers.
have. Yeah, Joan Rivers is on the couch.
Okay, well, that's
she
disturbing.
hosted the E-Show. She hosted the Private Parts special with Melissa. Nepo baby.
Okay. All right. I'm going to move on a little bit.
didn't help-
Because what,
It didn't
babe?
help that at the time when he was banging Courtney Love, that's when she was doing all the anti-Dave Grohl songs and shit like that.
She was with
All that
Corgan before
corny,
Kurt
corny
Cobain.
crap that she was so bitter at because
Yeah, she was.
because the rest
she
of
was with
Nirvana would give her full
everybody
control.
before Kurt.
We have some
She
clips
was
of that.
like
It's astonishing.
And you know what? Billy was banging that at the time, and so his cred went. Was left. Boom.
Well, you know what? She was a little bit disturbing at the time, and she's
Little bit?
I give her
A
credit
little?
for like really falling out of the public eye. I mean, have we spoken
Wasn't
about
by
Courtney?
choice though. It was,
I know, but at the
nobody
time she was
cared
trying
anymore.
to act and stuff like that, and she was a little bit, messed up in the head. All right, we'll come back
they
to
were
Courtney.
supposed
I want to come back, babe. Let me continue with some clips so that we can get to some of this stuff on the back end. Okay. So of course, the one thing that Howard had to talk about this morning was his excitement over the fact that The Bachelor mentioned
no.
him on air yesterday.
They mentioned him. Oh no.
Yes,
Ooga.
here we go.
Exactly.
Wig pro quo is what we're talking
We
about.
got
with all
up. And we put on The Bachelor, and boy,
Sorry, so what he's
my
talking about is
excitement.
that they couldn't stay up to watch The Bachelor last night because it was a 3-hour live show. 3-hour live show, and God knows you can't stay up.
But you know
So-
what time it ended? It ended at 11. If he went to sleep right
Babe,
after 11:30.
who are you talking to? You are preaching to the choir. Stop
6.5
it.
hours of sleep.
Stop it. So he has a conversation with his wife, allegedly, that says, hey.
You can't even trust that.
When I wake up in the morning or when I wake up to go pish, I'll wake you up so that you can we can watch The Bachelor together first thing in the morning. She's like, okay, then wake me up. So that's what
I don't know if you saw the ending, Robin, but
No.
I won't spoil it for those who didn't, but Jesse Palmer, the host, said he mentioned Beth and myself as part of Bachelor
Really?
Nation. Yes, and the fact that we got the chills when he picked the new Bachelorette, Charity, and Beth and I were absolutely ashamed and felt violated.
You were publicly shamed.
So excited for themselves, so excited for the whole thing. And of course, nobody has a clip of it because really, who watches that show other than him?
You know how cringy that is?
They did. They had a clip on the show.
Imagine?
Yeah,
Can you
finally.
imagine-
It took him a minute. What?
Well, can you imagine if Johnny Carson said, "Hey Ed, they mentioned me on the match game the other night."
I know this is what he's about. This mentions are so far and few between for him that anything is going to be something that.
But wait a minute, we mention him all the time. We mention him every day for hours and hours. Why don't you,
I know, right?
JD? Why don't you get these clips? Huh? Where's that news service? Huh? Play it on the show. We mentioned him for 7 hours
That's right.
straight.
That's right, John.
It would be so delicious if he ripped us a new asshole. I mean, nothing would make me
Never in a million
happier.
years.
Oh,
Never
not in a
billion
million
years.
years, but it would be fun.
Arguing with tapes.
So then
He'll talk
he
about-
decides
He'll talk about
he's
the Pelican Brief first.
right. So then he decides he's going to go into David Lee Roth, which was bizarre. I mean, the whole thing was just bizarre. The only reason that he's now doing his Wigvisionist history is because David Lee Roth said on air on some other podcast that he believes truly that Howard Stern should be in the Rock and Roll Hall of Fame. So now we're getting a whole new spin on David Lee Roth. So let's hear a little bit of that, and then we can go to some of the David Lee Roth clips that John has.
Anyway,
Dave's
it's
crazy
okay.
for
We
me.
don't have to play the tape. Don't knock yourselves out.
Of course, he's
I got
pissed.
this.
Nobody has the tape.
Why
Hey,
am I getting it if you can't?
by the way, last night I was going through some stuff. Maybe it was in the email. What was that tape, Gary, of David Lee Roth? Does he have a podcast now? David Lee Roth of Van Halen?
Yeah, I think that's what it is. He was on. Yeah, I think it was a podcast.
He was on a podcast, and I thought David didn't like me anymore, but he said very lovely things about me, and I would.
Of course, they were lovely things, only because they were talking about, what it would be like for you to be in the Rock and Roll Hall of Fame. So it continues with the bullshit.
And I've always worshipped David Lee Roth.
Worshipped.
I used to go see them at concert. I saw him. I mean, back in Detroit, as far back as when I was working in Detroit in the 80s.
That's funny.
I was a Van Halen fan.
10
right,
months.
and right, he worked there. How many months, Dennis?
10 months.
In
He
what
worked there
month?
for
In what
10
year?
months. 1980 to 1981. So
Right.
10 months.
He was in Detroit less than Daryl Dawkins was.
It was nothing short of spectacular, those guys.
And you
Alex,
sure this was a recent recording? This wasn't old.
I don't know anything about it. I was questioning it myself. I said, is this recent? Because I thought David didn't like me anymore. I really thought that we were on the outs.
Can't imagine why.
Nothing upset me more than that. I love the guy.
So this continues. Please hold. We're going to play all 4 clips, and then we're going to go to John's clips.
In fact, when I left K-Rock, David took over our show, and I was like, wow, the lead singer of Van Halen's taking over. Man, I must be an important dude.
You're being followed by David Lee Roth.
Am I insane to remember this completely differently?
No,
No, you're
why?
not,
When Dennis, I got this email from Dennis and Monique very late, and I had to rush, and you just had my head spinning because there's so much to this. I'm sure all you guys remember how much time did he spend smearing David Lee Roth from
absolutely.
2005 to even when he got to Sirius to
still did.
sabotage everything he did to everybody.
Everything.
Just horrible to him.
How
As if
dare
Okay.
he take over his show? How dare he?
Yeah, if I remember correctly, it's like they can't even get a real radio guy to cover my show. They have to get a washed up lead singer to be on
Yes.
my show. Literally,
But
that's
I'm hoping
that
we
might be
have
the
some of
nicest
this.
thing he said.
And not only that, Do you guys remember how bitter Howard was that David Lee Roth got a whole new studio?
Yes, with palm trees.
Yes.
Palm
he got-
trees.
when he came in, he remodeled the Howard's old
with a
studio,
window.
and Howard was so fucking bitter, so bitter.
He wanted to give himself like positive vibes, so he put a window and fucking palm trees.
Yeah, never mind that Howard. They built an entire building basically for him that he doesn't use.
Exactly.
He was so bitter that Dave did anything to that crap that he used to work in.
So let's listen to David Lee Roth talking about Howard, and then we'll go to clips.
So anyway, here's David talking about me.
Howard Stern, tell me if you agree, Tom should be in the Hall of Fame. Rock and Roll Hall of Fame. And I don't mean the producer-director part of the Rock and Roll Hall of Fame. I mean, he should be right up front with the rest of us here because he's a performer.
No, he's
and he's got one of the most difficult performing jobs ever. You know, most singers in rock bands will tell you that the most difficult part of the job live is talking in between the songs. Ask James Hetfield, for example, in Metallica. I'm sure he'll tell you that the singing comes way easier than to what to say at what time when in between the songs, especially if you're being very, very right now, if it's not rehearsed.
He's got like the most amazing accent. Jesus
Yeah,
Christ.
he does.
Classic.
I like what the electrician says. He said Howard's whole show is now stirkshit around, not sounding like his teeth aren't falling out at all.
So
true. So
I mean,
true.
David Lee Roth sounds like he's like, just a heartbeat away from having to suck dick to like get coke. I mean, really, he does.
This is how much Howard hated him. Do you guys remember this fucking April Fool's prank they did with Billy Mira to make it look like they replaced the show early? And the whole thing is, ha ha ha, look at how horrible David Lee Roth would be replacing me. Aren't you glad I'm still here and he's such a piece of shit for replacing me?
So what kind of clips did you send to me that are David Lee Roth?
I played them hating on having David Lee Rothenfreud when he was on the verge of getting fired and Howard was dancing on his grave, and they had Steve Langford ambush him as he was coming out of the K-Rock studios. Every day, Monique, they would they would monitor David Lee Roth's show and say how bad it is and how he can't take my place. And he took the job. He's not. By the way, I don't think it was Rupert Pumpkin. David Lee Roth's show on K-Rock is way better than Howard's show is now. It's not even close. I'll take David Lee Roth in 2000 any day of the week.
Not even close.
But you all remember when Howard first went to Sirius. So all we had was eyes for Howard, but you didn't get Sirius everywhere because you couldn't bring your stiletto pretty much,
anywhere.
It wasn't the same as it is today. And so, you would throw on K-Rock just because it was habit. And David Lee Roth wasn't a listenable show because it wasn't, we were comparing apples to oranges. It just wasn't the same.
But he wasn't trying to rip him off, because if he did rip him off, that would be worse. He's just doing his own thing, scatological, and was it horrible? Sure, but he wasn't ripping him off at all.
So should I play a little David Lee Rothenfreud?
Sure.
Yeah, sure.
Okay.
About the latest David Lee Roth stuff, I'm going to play you this. The news department got a hold of him. And David Lee Roth returned to Free FM yesterday. This is from Saturday's paper.
How many days was he off the air?
All he did is this, Monique, over and over again.
I got to tell you something. None of this makes sense. David Lee Roth, when he was hired by the company we used to work for, CBS, they gave him a bunch of shows to do. They put him on in Boston. Joel Hollander and Leslie Moonves heard David Lee Roth's show.
Now, you're serious. This was broadcast, and they could hear it.
Yeah. No, they had the guy go on in Boston and do a bunch of shows.
I remember them talking about it. Yeah, everybody was psyched about it. It was so good.
He was one of the guys who was auditioned to when they were thinking, after we announced we were leaving, they had 14 months to prepare. And they auditioned David Lee Roth. And Joel Hollander loved David Lee Roth.
Well, I say that because it is as...
So they absolutely knew what he was going to do. They heard the show. They knew what the show was. They put him on the air after I leave. And guess what?
What had happened?
Or is he going to say it now? They're trying to fire him, and they're dancing on his grave.
His ratings go down. I mean, almost to nothing. No different than Adam Carolla's ratings went down to nothing, and this guy Rover went down to nothing. Okay?
Right.
And I don't know why, but all of a sudden they go, well, David Lee Roth has got to change his act. We don't like what he's doing.
Beth's principal says even in radio, you need a, quote, line through, a mission or objective for doing a radio show. David Lee Roth had all that it took for his shows to succeed, but he had no organization around him to keep him on target.
Well, one of the theories I had in the beginning is I said to myself, this guy is a fucking nocturnal, night-crawling rocker. He's never going to deal with these morning radio hours. And I had said, I remember predicting he's going to try to get fired to get paid out, and that's exactly what happened. Because that was the trend. Remember Opie and Anthony got fired and they got their whole contract? When he heard about it, he's like, all right, I hate everything about this. I'm going to get fired. They're going to pay me. He got $4 million a year, and they paid him out.
Wow.
Jesus. And then, didn't he become a paramedic after that?
Yeah, he's always the one. He was even before that, X.
Yeah, he was a paramedic. He was a legit
So
paramedic.
he got a $4 million payout or $8 million? Like how many
$4
years were
million
left on his
a
contract?
year is the rumor. Not rumor.
How many years did he have? Was it 3 or 4?
I think it was 4.
And how long did he last on
Christ.
K-Rock?
6 months.
Jesus Christ.
Wow.
So at a certain point, he's like, "This sucks. I'm out of here." But let
Mazel tov.
let me not
Nozzle.
violate
Good
my
work
contract.
if you can get it.
Yep.
Holy shit.
Life
That's
goes on without me.
that's
I think he had an NDA too, Mooney, because he didn't say shit for years.
Why-
and
would
years and
you?
years.
Would
No,
you?
I wouldn't.
I'd be more than happy with my
Just gave me
$12 million. Thank you very
No,
much.
16.
16.
$16
Thank you very
million.
much.
Thank you.
Have a good day. Have a good day. All right, I'm just gonna play a little bit more of this.
I mean,
and then we'll
but
go back to
it's
our
David Lee
radio
Roth.
show.
What do you think you're gonna pay him, like Kane
Oh,
and
he's got to be
Gabby?
more like
Right.
Howard Stern.
The sad thing, it really is sad that
Yeah. I mean, so the point is, they get a hold of him and they suspend him for 2 days, even though they're not calling it a suspension. Roth says it is a suspension.
and what is that supposed?
They took away all of his sidekicks. He likes to play this esoteric music. He, whatever it is he was doing,
So
that was
reductive
fine
towards him.
2 months ago.
Or
Now-
when they heard him
Right.
in his audition?
Now suddenly is not okay. And they've completely stripped his show of any support people. They've stripped his show
He's
of
so
his
happy.
music and sound effects and everything else.
So
There's very little evidence of preparation on topics to discuss on the show, said the memo from Mark Chernoff. They're setting the guy up. What they're doing, agreed to pay him $4 million a year for 2 years guaranteed.
Okay.
And what they're doing
No, he
is,
went 4,
there's no
though.
ratings.
What now?
It went 4. It was a total contract of 4. 2 years
Oh, wow.
guaranteed, and the total thing was 16.
So they paid him out everything.
Yep.
Jesus.
That's why you want to get fired.
Wow. All right, so we're going to go back to our show for a minute. And
Steve, I don't know. The last one, Steve Langford ambushes
one?
him. It says 3, I think. David Lee Roth and Freud 3.
Okay.
Gone are David Lee's sidekicks. Gone is the music he liked to play. CBS, according to Roth, has ordered these changes or else, he says.
They came in right before the last segment and told me I wasn't doing anything right today and I better pay attention or there was going to be, what do they call it, disciplinary actions.
On the air, Roth sounds defeated, barely going through the motions, making it clear he wants no part of doing the show the way the geniuses at CBS have ordered. It's so bad that Roth has apparently been told to read news copy during his show, a task not at all suited to this otherwise talented man.
You doing news is like me doing Van Halen.
I agree. But at this
Thank
point
you,
in time
Jason.
to just turn around and quit, I need some more counseling and some more advice. This only happened to me within the last couple of days.
Roth says now more than ever, it's clear taking over from Howard Stern is mission impossible.
I think their intention is...
Oh, so he's just digging it in that it's
Yeah. Can't you hear the giddy Schadenfreude in Howard's voice? How
Absolutely.
happy he is. This is
Absolutely.
family.
Absolutely.
The guy was
thrilled.
nothing but a great guest for him, too. He didn't rip him off. He couldn't have handled that any better. I just...
God, I hate them.
I know.
It's really awful. Really awful.
Thank you, Jason Dill.
So let's talk about Howard, who had a friend who donated sperm. So, I know that
Jesus.
we've heard a story similar to this in the past, and I don't know if anybody in the chat has ever donated sperm. I personally have not. So
You
I
haven't?
would.
You haven't
no,
donated sperm?
No.
Oh, wow.
So
Only
I'd
to my
like to
body
know.
pillow.
So they were getting into like this whole weird conversation, all leading up to like the stupidest thing. But they started taking all of these like weirdly set up phone calls about people who found out like their father wasn't really their father, and this other guy who said that his father was really in what band was it? I don't even remember now.
It was like the new. It was
King
the
Norris?
new. No, the new.
Emergency Now?
It was
We
like
don't
a
know.
60s band. It was
Somebody
a-
will tell us. It's like
Yeah, I
bread,
can't remember. It
but
was a
just as
60s
bad.
band.
It's,
It was
yeah, it's just
awful.
as bad. And so he started taking all these kind of phone calls, and in between that, he tells us this story. Here we go.
Medical students donating, but
About
I
donating
don't know
sperm.
that it really makes that big of a difference.
Meanwhile,
Does
I've
it?
told this story before. I had a friend in college. Again, no names.
Again, no
But
names,
this
just in
dude
case.
was, he had no money. His parents couldn't afford.
It's so cute when he says no names, as if he would ever remember somebody's name, or
As if
the
he
person
cares
actually
about their
said-
anonymity, as if he cares about their privacy, as if he cares about their embarrassment.
What is this, Bet's principle? I made $82,000 donating sperm one year. Thank God for Johnny Marzetti's coleslaw dressing. Oh, that's gross.
What? That's exactly what Beth's principal did.
All right, here we go.
College. So his side gig was donating to the local sperm bank in Boston. And the only reason I knew about it was I was making a student film, and he was helping me out with it. And he goes, "Hey, dude,
Howie Brasco.
I got to take a break. I got to go jerk off. Can I use your bedroom?" I go,
What?
First of all, you're not fucking jerking off my bedroom. What do you mean you got to jerk off? What medical condition?
So I don't know. Call me
not how it
crazy,
works.
but I'm kind
Fake
of
as
going to
hell.
assume that bathrooms were something that existed.
I know.
There.
Well, no,
This
you're
show's so
supposed to
stupid.
go to
supposed
the
to do it at the
place and you
site,
do
right?
it there.
Let's listen to the let's listen to the rest, okay?
Like Fred Lynn over here.
Anybody in the chat who has ever donated sperm? I'm really curious about that. Sorry, here we go.
You have? He goes, "No, I'm a sperm donor, and today's my day to donate. You have to wait a certain amount of time." This dude, he went into my bedroom. His girlfriend jerked him off.
Wrong.
Into a tube, and then he had to wrap the tube in a fucking sock because you got to
he's
keep the
lying,
sperm
Morty.
warm.
Dude, this is
And he
such
raced
bull.
it down to the sperm bank.
Wrong.
Bunch of people
This is
on the.
Okay.
God, what
That
was this for? Oh my,
He doesn't
Dave
even
Stapleton
try
over
to make
here?
it believable.
Wrapped it in a sock and ran it to the donation place. How is
I mean,
this
he's-
possible, guys?
He's lying all the time, but those expansive stories are definitely lies because you could hear the scripts coming before his very crazy eyes and the little pauses in the reading. Xavier's right. Nothing sounds faker than this shit, and the whole chat.
Dude,
knows
this
it.
is like he's not even close to reality with this.
So he goes on and on about all these people with different fathers and stuff like that, which then leads into a 35, maybe 40-minute. Ready? Ready? Here we go.
Bunch of people on the phone with their own story, but
Oh, Jesus
I can't
Christ.
listen to that shit all day. The king. Hey, by the way, I will mention this: the guy who built the whole career out of DNA testing and everything was Maury Povich.
Yes, he did.
Maury
And
Brasco.
I never said this before, but Maury retired, and they made a big deal when Dr. Phil retired, but no one ever made a big deal when Maury retired. The guy had a
6
pretty
months
good run
ago.
with that.
So by all means, please elucidate to us what Maury Povich. Did anybody know he retired in 2022? Did anybody not think he retired in 1992? Does anybody know who Maury Povich is? That's
I'm
under
gonna
the
bring
age
back.
of 40?
I do.
Under the age of 40.
I'm gonna bring back a current affair, Monique. What do you think about that?
He's Dr. Agus's father-in-law with Connie Chung.
Oh, that's right,
as
Dennis.
brother-in-law.
Good connection. I
Yeah.
forgot about that, Dennis.
Yeah.
Way to connect the dots.
So
Like a
let's
Burger
do-
King placemat, connecting the dots, Dennis.
That was
Love it.
beautiful. That was
What's
beautiful.
great about Howard is when he recycles his lies. Like 5 years from now, the story will be that he shot a load from wherever he was to a spittoon at the sperm bank 3 blocks away.
Yeah, well, a friend of his. No names.
A friend of his, no name.
Yes,
That's
of
right. No
course.
names.
Silly me.
I know. So, yeah. So then he went into this whole tribute to Maury Povich. And I swear to God, I do not believe that most people know who Maury Povich is. Like, I really don't believe that anybody knows who these
He
people are.
peaked when the Smashing Pumpkins did.
Yes, exactly.
Yeah, that's pretty accurate, actually.
Maybe even
That's
earlier,
pretty good.
quite honestly. I mean, maybe even earlier. So while they were going to commercial, okay, here's a segment which was like a flirty Gary, which was absolutely horrible. And why they would play this is beyond me because it did not age well at all. This is like so weird to me. I hate it. I hate everything about it.
Yeah?
Get on your knees, bitch, and lick my clit.
Shit. Lucky for you, I'm into better trade deals with China and licking your vagina. I'll make that pussy drip like Rudy Giuliani's hair dye.
Drip, drip, drip in your mouth.
Drip, 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 drip. I'm so patriotic, I want that snatch balder than an American eagle.
Yeah, I gotcha. My snatch is smoother than a baby's ass.
I may not like Hunter, but I sure love your cunter.
Oh my God, that's vile. Everything about that was vile. Just vile.
This is as edgy as the shit.
Hey, some sixth grader
gets
worked
it.
hard on that.
Exactly. It's really awful, you guys. It's really awful.
So was that part of the 20-minute break with 2 full songs and 4 bumpers saying the Smashing Pumpkins were coming in?
Yeah, cunter. That's a great word. I'm going to skip over the letters that he got from people about Beth's sugar addiction because.
So going back to the people calling in, he actually was going for a long time. I was thinking that Ben wasn't my father because he didn't do anything with me.
And I wish my mother would have had Brad Pitt as a sperm donor.
Yeah,
Your mother's 95 years old. Okay.
Yeah, I would have looked like Brad Pitt. No, not with those jeans.
No.
That ain't happening.
No. No. Okay.
Look, you look like Brad Gray now.
Yeah. You sound a little weird, John, for some reason. Just so you know, you're having like a little fast.
He's at an obtuse angle. That's why.
He's at.
I'm gonna go back to 120 degrees. Good old that.
He's like. He sounds bizarre. Okay, so let's get to 2 amazing
60
things
degrees.
that Howard asked to Billy Corgan today. I mean, it's almost incredible. It's almost astounding that this is his understanding of songs. So here's Howard Stern's, and as I wrote it, 79's understanding of the song Today. You ready? Yeah, Brad Pitt has horrible skin. I saw him filming once in Long Island City, and his skin was really, really bad. He's definitely had some major dermabrasion because he had he had a pitted face. It was all pockmarked. It was horrible.
Oh, like Edward James almost. Okay.
Kind of that bad. If you look at old Brad Pitt movies, you can actually see it, and then if you see him today, he has none of that. So they either spackle him up nicely, or he's gotten like major dermabrasion.
So was he
but
like
listen
Dennis,
to 79.
You ever see Bryan Adams in 4K?
Yeah. No, I have not.
That's Brad Pitt's complexion.
Horrible.
Oof.
Okay,
Yeah.
so listen to this. These are great understandings. So here's his understanding of the song Today. I'm dying with this, you guys.
This is great.
Because when you say today is the greatest day of my life, when I've talked to people who are suicidal, the day they decide that they are going to kill themselves is one of their happiest days. When they
Holy shit. Wow.
You can't have the privileged life you've had with no trauma, with no loss, and be brooding at this. This is Hot Topic blackface, if you've ever heard it. And that's where you keep going back to Smashing Pumpkins and Rob Zombie and Marilyn Manson. Hot Topic blackface.
Blackface?
Man, who knows blackface better than Howard does?
That's beautiful, John.
Absolutely.
Thanks.
I have a better one, though, for you. I have a better one.
Okay.
Would you like to hear 79's understanding of the song 1979? This might be the best clip of the week, just so you know.
Becomes
Okay,
sour
here we go.
shoes.
Ready? This is almost unbelievable, and I am not doing any false preamble here. Okay, here we go.
As always, whatever you request, I'm happy to play for you. So we're going to do 1979.
1979.
He's so sick of it.
Wait.
I'll tell you my theory on this song while you're setting up.
He really
By
is
the
wearing
way-
an overcoat in there. Oh my goodness.
Billy's cold. It's cold in our studio.
Not by you.
Jimmy Chamberlain is here on drums. Matt McJunkins is on bass. And,
Didn't mention the band, by the way, the entire time he was in. This is the
His
last
band
song
hates
he's
him.
playing. Listen to this.
And Jeff and James, let me say hi to these guys while they're setting up.
Yeah.
But I also want to give Billy my theory on 1979, which he's going to play live. Now, maybe I'm full of shit, but can you hear me, Billy?
I can hear you.
All right. I think 1979 is dealing with, maybe I'm nuts, but to me, 79 means it's almost the 80s, but you're leaving the 70s, and you don't know what's ahead.
He's 10 years old.
I'm stupefied.
Howard was a kid when this came out, by the way.
That literally is the dumbest statement I've ever heard in my entire life.
I was just a little kid when 1979 came out.
We are all
Is
dumber
dealing
for
with, maybe I'm nuts, but to me, 79 means it's almost the 80s, but you're leaving the 70s, and you don't know what's ahead.
Yeah, right, Lisa Stein. This guy's about as deep as a NyQuil cup, for Christ's sake, huh?
Can you even imagine?
This is the dumbest.
I thought he was going to pull out the I was a kid. I was a little kid in 1979.
Exactly.
That's what I was sure you were going down that road.
Can you even imagine, you guys?
7 years old.
Can you imagine? What was it we wanted to ask Music Stream yesterday? We had a question. Oh, Music Stream. You can answer this question for us. I don't think you were here yesterday. We probably preambled for more than 5 minutes, so you bailed on us. Do you know, like when Howard plays the American Nightmare song, which I think he has writing credit on, do you know if they get paid for the song being played per time it's played, or for the audience it's played to? Like, is it played just as if it's just a one of on that show, or do they get paid depending on like if a couple of million people are listening?
No, it's just per.
Oh, you weren't there for that question either. That moment.
I wasn't. I bailed.
Yes, but I was just curious whether or not it was just like 50 cents because it got played that day.
They get a nickel every time it gets played, basically.
Do you think it's like a nickel?
Whatever it is. I'm just kidding
something
about
like
the
that, I
nickel,
guess.
But it's not on terrestrial radios. It might be different.
It might be different. There might be
Well,
a bulk.
They pay more. They pay more on Sirius.
Do they?
Yeah.
Do they? I
You
don't
know,
know.
you see your
Xavier was right, but that might be for terrestrial.
I want to know what Ross Apin's cut is.
Somebody like KC would probably know about that.
Booger sugar.
KC,
Well, no,
any
wouldn't
thoughts
be
on
the
that?
Same as like the Danny Elfman. It's whether it's on broadcast or cable or streaming, they still get a cut.
Yeah.
Right,
maybe
but the
they
question
do.
is it a
Similar
cut?
along those lines.
If 20
know for a
million
fact,
people are listening on Monday, is the cut that they get just the nickel because it's on his show, or is it because of the fact that like 20 million people are listening? Is it like $20?
We'll look into it
No, I
and
wouldn't-
get back to it. Yeah.
Thank you, because I would like to know on this, and maybe somebody can answer that. X answered this yesterday. I know, but it was the same question. My question is volume versus one.
I don't think
basically.
volume has anything to do with it, because when they use it in movies, they pay a flat rate for the rights to use it.
Yeah, I'm just trying to understand that.
Yeah.
Okay, Aaron Taylor says.
I don't think any production company would ever cut a deal where it's based on, how many people are listen or view or whatever.
Okay, I just wasn't sure. Aaron Taylor says a licensing fee is not about audience. Jack Black had a great story about getting the rights to play Immigrant's Song in School of Rock, which I'm sure is played to millions with cable. Okay. All right, now I understand. So it's really just about the Immigrant Song being out there and being played to millions of people, as opposed to how much they're actually getting paid for it being played, right?
You know what I do on the Deppening, Monique, is I go on there and I say, I own Prince's rights. I own the rights to Don Henley. I own the rights to the Beatles. I own the rights to all things that Quincy Jones ever produced. And usually get it back. They usually don't ding me for it.
Right. This is exactly what I'm asking Rick the electrician. Is it 20 million times 5 cents or just 5 cents? So
Hey,
if you're telling me
Casey,
it's just 5 cents, then I understand.
When you used to make the guests sign the release, especially the musical guests, did they have to sign away that they didn't get paid residuals when Howard played their music? On
He
that, was that
probably,
part
he
of
probably
it?
didn't read it that.
I think he was giving it to him.
He
I think he
probably
wrote
didn't
it.
read it, though.
He wrote
Casey-
Sturkshire on it.
Casey
Howard-
just had the pen. That's all.
Especially like
Sign it.
artist release for stuff like
I'm
that.
going back to Mount
But
Sinai.
yeah, like
Yeah,
like,
that's
for
why.
example,
That's why Howard's able to play that Purple Rain song
or the
done by
Dave
Train
Grohl stuff.
on
Yeah,
his.
it's- there's an
Yeah,
artist
like how does
release
that
for-
work? Like, does Train have to pay the Prince people royalty for the millions of views of that song on the Stern show?
Great question.
You know, or did Train write their rights away to that song to the Stern Show, who then has to pay the Prince people? These are questions I need to know. I need to have a music person on the
if
show.
Someone does a cover, does the original artist get anything out of it? Good question.
if it's only if it's made for profit. So if that my understanding of the law of that is that like that YouTube video is monetized. I'm assuming it's monetized, and with all the views, they're paying Prince's estate whatever YouTube is.
They
whatever
reverse monetize it, Dennis. They'll give them They'll say this goes to Prince.
Yeah, because Train owns nothing of that song. They own nothing. So
but
they
is
get
it
nothing.
Howard that is paying this out?
It would have to be.
He's the one that has the rights
his
to it?
station. It's his YouTube. So it isn't Train's. Train has nothing to do with it except they performed on his show.
Casey for the win here. I don't like Brad Pitt's look at all. Sorry.
How about Anthony Cumia's complexion? Sara was calling their show Tits and Zits with Opie and Anthony.
Tits and Zits?
Tits and Zits.
Jesus Christ.
That was the slang for Opie and Anthony.
All right, I got info. So the in America, the radio stations, let's just say radio station in general, they pay a licensing fee, a flat fee to performing rights organizations. And they pay the money to this organization, and there's tons of them. And then the organization, the radio station then reports to the organization all the music they play each day. The organization sends out the money to the composer, the songwriter, the band. No,
the publisher.
Pearl
the publisher
Jam,
gets the money.
If it's Pearl Jam, the writer of the song.
Yeah, the publisher, whoever owns the publishing.
No, it's the songwriter. It's the songwriter, right? So it's the publishing rights.
The publishing rights.
That's why a lot of them do like co-share with writing, so that both of them get money from this. There's a great podcast about this that I'm going to highly recommend.
Yeah, you were telling me about that. You know, Bruce Hornsby made a killing on Tupac Shakur's Changes because he just samples the way it is the whole time.
Wow.
And Hornsby has this rock solid kind of publishing thing where he made it. I think it's like half his money is off that Tupac song.
That's amazing.
Yeah. Thank you, Casey. He said Scott Einzinger wrote up that release, and the artists don't get shit for it on the Stern Show. Thanks, Casey.
Jesus Christ.
And the value of what is paid is interesting because it's there's a few categories. It's radio type and audience. So Sirius Radio would have their own type. Right. And then free to air would have their own type and audience. How much of the song is played, and the song's popularity and the song's longevity is taken into account. So this organization I mentioned has organized that. So if you play Stairway to Heaven, your popularity and longevity, you're paying more. Isn't that fascinating?
The most embarrassing copyright ding I've ever had is Emily Stern Zoozazoo on my channel. I think I screenshotted it. There's nothing funnier than an embarrassing copyright claim.
She's been very active the last 24 hours on Instagram
I can't wait to see.
She's made some posts. They were all crap, boring.
Okay, so here's the podcast I'm going to highly recommend. Okay, it's called The Economics of Everyday Things. And the particular episode is episode 3, which is called My Sharona. So they're a one-hit wonder, but the question was, does being a one-hit wonder still pay the bills? And shockingly,
yes,
amazingly, they go through this whole thing about the writer credits versus the singer credits versus all of that. And because he's the writer of it and the other guy died, he gets all the writing credit money now.
Well, that's just like the Spirit in the Sky guy. He was on Stern like 10 years ago, maybe a little longer. And Jesus, that guy's making like $200,000 a year on that freaking one song. The only song he did.
It's amazing if you can tap into something like that.
My Sharona is a good one, Benjamin. Monique actually talked about My Sharona, right? That was the whole gist.
Yes, that's the one I'm talking about. It's the neck.
If a person dies, though, it would go to their estate. I don't think it wouldn't be fair just to say that Monique and I wrote a song, I die. And so Monique can have it all. It'd be like, who's Bond's estate? Because Doesn't that make
They're
more
good.
sense?
They're
I
good.
can't
they're
imagine
good,
they just
they're
say.
good. They're 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 good. They are very good.
Very good.
They're good. 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 Good.
Good. Can you make that into a song for us, Bon? Can that be?
No, I mean you just shut me down with it. Was that your way of saying shut up?
Monique.
That's what
Monique,
it
I
seemed
got a
like.
good question for you as far as rap goes. You know, Notorious B.I.G.'s "Hypnotize" uses that. Remember that Herb Alpert song, "Rise"?
Yes.
There's a
Rise.
little riff, right? You know that X, right? In the middle,
called Rise,
and he
yeah.
uses it throughout the whole thing. I want to know what Herb Alpert got paid from the.
You know what? They can either
Wallace
negotiate
thing.
it up front. I know this
Or on the
because
back
of that
end.
My Sharona thing. They can either negotiate it up front, or what was happening a lot with rap music is the fact that they would sample a shit ton of stuff and not give credit to the people that
Right.
actually, because they would just sample a bit, just a piece, and they would get sued. So then they would settle out of court, and that would be the end of it. They would give them a bulk amount. But
Yes.
Doesn't Herb Albert own AMC?
Oh, I don't know. Did he?
The record company. Pretty sure he owns one of those big companies. So I'm sure his deal was, quite nice for him.
Oh my God! I mean, these guys on the writing credits, like Avril Lavigne, for argument's sake, right? She wrote. She's not only sampled but wrote a Rihanna song.
Thank you.
And was huge in it, and so she makes a shit ton of money off of Rihanna, which is bizarre to me. Sia, who is a superstar in her own right, has written a shit ton of music for Rihanna. So, and that's why you see so many of these stars today, so many music stars, where you look at the writing credits and it's like 50 friggin' people on there. It's like, what did every person write one word to the song in order for it to come together?
I think what Notorious B.I.G. did, Christopher Wallace, went into his mom music. So Violetta Wallace, his mom, probably had these vinyls, and he went into it and was like, no one's going to care if I sample fucking Herb Alpert's Rise or Diana Ross's, I think that's what and it's kind of genius in a way. Like, you just wouldn't think of these songs, and then it brings them back. But I would love to know what they both
absolutely Walk This Way actually was the resurgence for Aerosmith. Without Walk This Way, they would have been dead in the water. Nobody would have given a rat's ass about Aerosmith.
Do you know the Ray Parker Jr. Huey Lewis lawsuit?
Yeah, want a new drug.
Ray Parker Jr.
want a new
lost.
drug in Ghostbusters, right?
And who did
Huey Lewis sued Ray Parker Jr. for Ghostbusters.
There is a legitimate cause for that to happen. I was just reading about this amazing lawsuit between Jessica Seinfeld and this other woman who made almost the exact same book as she did.
Yes.
About deceptive foods for kids. And it came out almost around the same time. So she sued. The other woman sued. And Jessica Seinfeld came with the money and the prestige, and they just shut her down. Even though half of the recipes were exactly the same as hers.
Seinfeld went on Letterman shaming the woman.
Shaming her.
And yes. And Howard was on the outs with Seinfeld at the time, and they reported on the story, and they ripped on Seinfeld for it. It's a really good clip I got to find. It's from the early days of Sirius, I think, when that hit.
Interestingly, KC, as you're writing, I think the rules have changed, guys. I can play anything I want from anywhere under the fair use rules doing my FM radio show, but I can't play my own FM show on Twitch or YouTube. What? Yes, as a matter of fact, I tried to play some of your show on my show one time, and the Rammstein song that you start with, which I love, immediately popped up and said, you can't play this. So it's very weird how that happened. Du hast. No, it wasn't du hast.
Schnell.
I think Casey should change the acronym to IHM. I hate men.
Casey, by the way, I will always accept any old concert T-shirts you may have. So if you've ever seen Rammstein in concert, I would gladly accept any T-shirt that doesn't fit you anymore, because I love a good concert T-shirt. That goes for any of you out there in the chat. I will always steal a concert T-shirt from you, and then I will wear it on air, and that will be my thank you to you.
Go.
All right, so let's see how the show ended, because here we are killing time. So Robin,
does.
So Robin started talking about the pedals that were used during their live performance. And I know I have no idea. I'm screen grabbing that right now. Hold on. Keep it online.
Hey, Sarah, if you're listening, make a King Norris t-shirt and we'll all buy it. Please. Emergency now. Scott the Engineer's Kids Band. How come there's no King Norris swag?
Because who really?
Right?
Come on, really?
We want to
Any
wear
size.
it ironically.
You can give me like a medium or a large, I will wear it. What? Why am I ignoring you? What I'm supposed to do everything, Sinluhu?
Oh
I'm
my
supposed to do
God.
everything. I have to play clips. I have to read things.
Cindy, didn't you hear her complaining to Chrissie Mayr about multitasking?
Didn't you hear me complaining?
Yes, we did. I heard you complaining. God, ridiculous.
Where's Tiger Lily been?
I know.
She's around. She's fine. She's just
stalking Julie.
She was in the Alec Baldwin chat, though.
Yes, I text with her all the time. I check in with her at least once or twice a week. We, exchange dog photos, and then we go on our merry way, but she's perfectly fine. So no worries about Tiger. She'll be back when she can, like everybody. I noticed Dave and Diego today for the first time in a long time. First time, long time. All right, let's see how the show ended today. Here we go.
Smashing Pumpkins, Billy Corgan. Thank you, guys.
Thank you.
By the way, he still was lingering with this conversation. Like he wouldn't let them leave. It just kept going and going and going.
You guys going to have a bachelor party? Oh, they're gone. Okay.
What an
You know it'll
idiot.
be wild.
God.
We'll have a bachelor party, don't you?
Absolutely. You know me. I'm king of the bachelor parties. Robin, we have to do it all over again tomorrow. There's a lot to get to. I won't even tease what's happening on tomorrow's show. I don't want to.
Well, I have to say just one thing. Watching them play and that new set of pedals on the ground.
Yes, pedals.
Oh, my goodness.
Yes.
That was amazing. I was like, geez.
G Canada, I don't fit in an extra small. That there's no part of my body that
there's
fits
no
in
way
an
she
extra.
can fit in an extra
There's no way.
No way.
I guess the
It's not
future
happening.
is
You be
bright.
quiet.
Because look at
No,
how
in a good way.
technology and music are marrying
Buxom
together
way.
and becoming even greater.
If I was in a band, I'd have shitloads of pedals. I would be constantly involved with my pedals on the floor. All right, we'll see you.
Everything would be a pedal.
Everything would be a pedal. We'll see you tomorrow. Bye.
Okay, so now
ending.
listen
Good
to
stuff.
this promo that they do at the end of the show. I'm not understanding who it's for or what it's for, but somebody put this together.
The Howard Stern Show is a home for everyone.
Bring it on home, honey.
From rock stars
The famous Eddie Vedder. Look at you.
to roadkill,
Yeah, we roadkill. If we run over it, know it's fresh.
A-listers
Jimmy Kimmel.
My son Kevin made a number 2 in the shape of the number 2.
to gay fisters.
Listen, it ain't the size of the fist, it's the motion of the wrist.
Superstars
The legendary Neil Young. My God.
to slow adults.
Hey, where's Beetlejuice?
He's up there.
Hey, bring him in.
I'm gonna fuck a bitch tonight.
The Howard Stern Show.
Yeah.
We got it all.
Hey now.
Oh my.
What in
What's
the
that
actual...
Who is this show for? Or
Jesus
who is that
Christ.
supposed to get new listeners playing it on your own show? And who is exactly, Monique?
I
Who is
think
that for?
what's
Who's the
going
show?
on here, you guys,
Wow.
is that
Talented.
he can't physically get away from the sticky, stupid
Yeah.
show, and he's trying to pull in those people that are like, okay, if you don't like the interviews, I'm still doing whack pack stuff. I'm still, meanwhile, Beetlejuice hasn't been on since Jesus left the Jews, right? So it's not even like relevant to anything.
No, he was on last year. He was on last year.
Was he?
For like a minute. He
Well,
only
yeah,
came in
for a
because he
minute
was
on
doing
Zoom.
a song.
He zoomed in.
They pulled him. Yeah, they pulled him in to sing a song or something like that, and they were going to convert it to like a, they were going to retread it and make it into like a hit or something like that.
He was on for like 20 minutes, though. So
That's it, and that was it. And he was done.
Well, it's like an admission, Monique. I don't know what the show is and who it's for.
And
I'm
who
just
it's
gonna
for.
throw this scatological medley, and I don't know. I'm grooving. I guess whack pack. I don't know. Listen, we don't know what we're doing here.
Yeah,
It's for
but
me.
everything is funny
rudderless
and
crap.
great, and I
Yep,
do great
rudderless crap,
interviews
right,
as well.
yes.
So there's that. Derek
my-
is saying radio has a special relationship with 3 publishing houses, and and these artists. These publication houses and these artists, sorry. They can play songs without paying royalty. Can you imagine if they had to pay royalties on all the songs they played? Yeah, I'm sure there's some sort of negotiation that goes into this, and that's why those royalty houses exist, so that they can do the negotiations for them. I would absolutely love to have somebody on who is musically inclined who can talk to us about this in depth one day.
Another genius thing that Howard said today was that he said that Pete Townsend never sang any of his songs. He had to have Roger Daltrey sing his songs. If I remember correctly, Pete Townsend had his own albums. Like
I don't understand that. Who said this?
69. Howard said this.
Just like Howard's never written a joke, Jackie Martling has.
Pete Townsend never sang any of his own songs.
Let's Google that and see what the.
Oh no, he sang a few of his songs. He actually had hits.
Just one or two, maybe.
Yeah, he had a few hits.
It says online that he's a second lead vocalist in the band. That's what it says. There you go.
Tamara
That's on
Francois is right
all the
here.
best lines for himself.
Lester Green has millions and millions and millions of followers on TikTok. Like, makes the Stern Show look infinitesimal in comparison. It's embarrassing.
That curious little mint.
Oh, you have them in America, do you? We love them here. Tic-Tacs. We love them.
They're
orange
come and
ones.
gone here.
I haven't seen them in a minute.
Beautiful. We just got them, Dennis, of course. Yes.
Of course you just got them.
You did not just get Tic-Tacs.
The leftovers got sent down to the penal colony. It's okay.
The orange ones. The orange ones are so nice.
Bon Jovial's the type of guy I'll give you one Tic-Tac. Huh?
Orange is my preferred flavor as well.
Yes,
I really
I agree
wish
with
they
that.
had like a cherry one. That would have made them
Right.
like phenomenal. And I hate spearmint more than life itself. So I'm not a big Tic-Tac fan. I can automatically vomit if I need to. Absolutely.
Bulimia
To quote
bomb.
Roger Daltrey, where are the jokes?
Where are the jokes? Where are the damn jokes?
There's
All right.
anything.
So what we're going to
Yeah,
get
that's
to
just
now, of course, because it
stupid.
is that time. And Bon, by the way, I don't think you were on when I first did the opening of the show, but I cannot believe you did the scissoring with Chrissie Mayr thing.
You'd love
you
that.
tricked me. You tricked me,
I know,
silly
I snuck
Billy.
in and loaded that.
Oh, we
I
died
made a
laughing. We just
point. I
died.
I saw.
We died laughing. That was.
Cleaning out the computer.
So in the MP3 category, I have some Dee Snider, and I think that's from yesterday. But then I have all the Billy Corgan stuff.
Right.
So where do we want to go?
Can I
But
just
Dee
interrupt?
Snider was from yesterday,
Yes.
Monique?
I don't know.
Yeah, go ahead, Bono. Go ahead.
I'll play one first of Billy Corgan. This is a classic on YouTube, and I grabbed it. This is Billy doing a pretty good owning of a fan. So Billy's talking after the gig, and the fan yells out to him, and it's very short, but the video title is like, Why Billy Corgan is an Asshole or something, and what he does isn't, it's fine.
Wow.
Why didn't you sing 1979?
Because people like you asked for it.
There you go. I
was
thought
like
that
a
was a
great
great
example.
comeback.
Burn. Yeah.
It's a good comeback.
Yeah.
He looks.
You consider that a good comeback?
Mic drop.
Fifth grade.
Burn.
Yeah, it's on the spot.
That was
It's
like, yo,
fine.
mama.
He looks like Bill Maher, right, Brizzo?
He looks like
yes.
that cart of electric
Bill
potato.
Burr. Bill
Like
Burr.
what
Yes, he
happened to
does.
him? He's just like this amorphous blob of person.
Yeah,
he looks
he's
like
all-
Mr. Clean.
He is sort of blubberish, but
He's like fleshy. There's like no
hey,
form
Brizzo,
to him.
that's who it is. He's Bill Burr 2.0. It's
Oh,
literally
my
what he is.
God, yes.
You ever see Bill Burr in that Staten Island Pete Davidson movie? It's exactly what he looks like. I
No,
forget.
how is that Staten Island Pete Davidson movie?
Supposedly it's pretty good.
I
can't stand Pete Davidson, though.
I know, but that's supposedly. Oh, you
Okay,
hate it?
so
Okay.
are these Dee Sniders from today?
No, I just saw. I get this weird email with you two. I just see Dee Snider, David Lee Roth, and I don't know what to do with it. I guess they talked about him. Like, so I just made Dee Snider talking about how Howard basically unfriended him when Dee attempted to go into radio.
Really?
Yeah.
Okay, let's hear a little bit of that, and then we'll go to the videos on Billy Corgan. That's what we'll end with. Here we go.
That there was a war between Mancow and Howard Stern. When he said, listen, now this is, okay, this is where we disagree. He goes, listen, do me a favor before we go on the air. He goes, I know you're friends with Howard Stern.
He's 2 minutes away from sounding like Baba Booey, just so you know.
Yeah,
He says, I'm a big
a lot of
fan.
screaming
too.
over the
He
years.
says these words to me. He goes, but please don't talk about him on the air. Now, this is just professional courtesy. You never talk about another person's radio show while you're on someone else's show. You just don't do that ever. This is the mid-'90s now. And I hear them talking about Mancow. Gary's talking about Mancow. And I said, Mancow? I'm always a big Howard Stern fan. And Gary goes, what? And I said, I just did Mancow. He told me he's a big fan of the show. I have no idea there's a war going on between these two guys.
Oh, I don't care about this.
Well,
Why do we have
Howard,
this? I don't like it. I don't like this.
Because you asked me in a fucking email.
I know. Okay,
about the
I'm
feud
just making the call on
All
this.
right,
That
just go to Billy Corgan.
Okay, thank you.
No more emails about your ideas.
Oh my
half-baked
God!
ideas.
You know what? The one time you actually pay attention to an email, it's only because Dennis
Okay.
wrote to you and not me.
Okay.
I asked for stuff that was very, very
It is
relative.
germane. That feud's
germane
very
was
interesting.
germane to the situation.
Germane Jackson to the situation.
Exactly.
Let's go to Billy Corgan.
Well, do we want Courtney first or do we want Billy first?
It's the succession of that is Billy's first because that's the order they came in the show. 98.
Jesus.
Billy Corgan and Uncle Vanya one.
Yeah, no, I did that because his girlfriend at the time is named after you. She's from
Oh, her name was
Bay Ridge,
Vanya?
Brooklyn. Yeah. No,
That's
something
great.
better. Something better.
Oh, okay. Gonna listen
Really
now.
exciting to have Billy Corgan here. It's kind of hard to get a hold of, you know what I mean? I think Billy's here with his girlfriend, who's real hot. I saw her in a hotel. I ran into him in a hotel in California.
Yeah?
In fact, I believe it was Hotel California. He's here alone because I don't think the other...
This is when Robin was going through that no eyelash phase of hers. Like she had no eyebrows. She had like no facial hair whatsoever. She looked like an alien. It was very, very bizarre.
band members like me.
Well, let's find out.
Billy's girlfriend's name is Yelena.
Everybody has an unusual name.
Yeah, we have to get unusual names.
I know. I'm not going to be Robin anymore.
Well, Howard is an unusual name. It's just such a horrible name. I don't know many Howards. All right. Yeah. There you go.
Yep.
Okay. Hey, Billy, what do you got on? A see-through shirt, man? Show off. Billy's got on a see-through shirt. So does Yelena, come to think of it. That's pretty hot.
Everybody's wearing see-through today.
Yeah. Everybody's see-through. Except me. I know better. Bye, guys. It's good seeing you.
Good morning, Howard.
Good morning. Good morning. Yeah, the first time I got my Yelena was I was at the Four Seasons Hotel.
I thought it was like a Motel 8 or something.
That would have been a lot cooler.
But before Private Parts.
Exactly. It was actually the weekend Private Parts was opening. I was in.
Moving on. Okay.
All right. Were you recently on a plane with Chevy Chase and he had you thrown off? True or false?
That's true.
That is true.
How did he get you thrown off?
Yeah, I mean, you're more happy than him.
I'm so glad you're bringing this up because I was going to bring it up.
Good.
I knew you'd love this.
And please tell me.
We were in St. Bart's in the Caribbean.
Oh, Yelena, what do you wear there? It's like bathing suits?
No, I go naked.
Do you really? Do you go to Nude Beach? Billy, too?
That's what
Okay,
really
so wait a second.
Chevy Chase.
Right, Chevy Chase. So
I knew you'd love this.
Let me hear this.
Well, we had to connect. We had to connect to catch a flight to get back to New York.
Right.
You know, and it's like if you don't make the connection, it's pretty brutal. People screaming, the whole bad scene.
Right.
Almost got in a fist fight.
How long do you last?
So we get on the plane. We're strapped in and we're sitting there, and it's like 110. You're sitting in this plane. You're sitting. All of a sudden, a guy comes in. We're very sorry. This plane has to go to a different island, and you must get off the plane. So we're like, okay, you know, who are we to say no? We get off the plane. Here comes Chevy Chase and his family. Right.
Now, how does he get that kind of pull?
There's
Yeah,
more.
Go ahead. Yeah.
So then when the next plane comes,
I'm sorry. What are we doing here?
His good buddy Chevy Chase is in a feud with Billy Corgan. He had him kicked off an airplane, so Chevy Chase got his private jet instead of him.
Oh, this was a private jet.
Yes.
Wow.
It's like a mini jet that they put celebrities on.
And they kicked him off.
They kicked him off and put Chevy Chase on.
Wow.
Yes, that's a good reference. He looks like Powder. Who am I, Sean Patrick? Who am I, Sean Patrick Flannery?
Powder. That's amazing.
Go to the next one.
That's amazing.
Vanity? I thought maybe you were losing your hair or something. But you weren't. You just said, I want to do away with the whole vanity thing.
I just got tired of just. It's a weird thing when you never really think of yourself in physical terms. You know, you think of yourself as a cerebral person, and suddenly you're being judged on completely physical.
Especially in rock and roll.
Come on.
Yeah, I mean, it's all about
I mean,
that.
when you've got people who have more success than you at some point in your life because they're cuter, you're going, this is really surreal, and this is weird.
I thought it was awfully ballsy when you shaved your head.
Sweetheart, nobody's success is based on talent alone. I mean, the only person I can think of is like Christopher Cross. And then when he finally decided to go into concert and you saw what he looked like, everybody's like, oh, no.
What about Joe Cocker?
Joe Cocker,
Joe Cocker was the last guy, I think you're right.
Joe Cocker was probably the last one.
Quite frankly. Because I'm thinking like, well.
I have to tell you, you'll never do it, but.
No, I won't.
Yeah,
I'm way too ugly.
To have him free himself.
Girls love it.
They do?
Love it.
Because chicks, do they? Because chicks tell me they love my hair. Like, and anything that they love, I don't want to lose. You know what I mean? I mean, like, there's so few things they love that they go, hey, you have really nice hair. I would put a
Was this at Sirius?
Yeah. This is 1998. No, 1998.
This is K-Rock.
Is that K-Rock?
Yeah, I was going to say, because it's such a cluttered, closed-in...
Cloth over my face and let them just play with my hair. I don't care. So what's the difference?
I don't know.
I'm moving on.
Jesus Christ.
I love the vanity at all.
Oh, it's so horrible.
What is the deal there? Why don't we see the other pumpkins here?
Yeah, the Chinese person.
Your chances of getting Darcy up at this hour are pretty slim.
Yeah, I don't think they like
James
me,
is a really private person.
Yeah, does he like me or what? I
No,
mean,
he likes listening to you.
Oh, he does. All right.
But if you asked him, hey, what size is your penis? I mean, he would fall off the chair. He couldn't deal with.
He couldn't deal with any of that. Are you sick of working with him?
Oh no, not at all.
You will stay with them.
Yeah, I mean, we're gonna do one more album for sure, and we always look at it as like album by album,
right?
Because for us, it's like it's so intense.
Yeah, but you write everything, right? I mean,
for the most part, yeah.
They better hope you stay, unless you pull a Sting on them and split. Those other two guys are still looking for Sting. They're still looking for that reunion tour.
He's on the run.
Yeah, Sting can't hide. He can't buy enough houses to hide from those two guys. but hey,
they just call and they get Trudy every time.
Yeah, right. Trudy's like Sting.
All right, moving on.
I thought was brilliant. But then the rumors always existed that basically what she did was take Kurt Cobain's songs after he died and record them.
Right.
Because those songs are brilliant.
Yeah, they're great.
I think that's one of the best albums I've ever heard. So now here she's waiting around to do her second album and all this. So she gets in touch with you, right?
No, actually, it was my idea.
To do the second album, to produce it.
Well, she wasn't going to make another album.
You're kidding.
And why do you think that was?
Well, she was telling everyone she was going to make another album, but I've known her a long time. She wasn't going to make another album.
And you guys used to be lovers or something?
We were boyfriend, girlfriend around 91.
Right. And everyone was accusing you of having an affair with her when Kurt Cobain was alive, right?
Yeah.
That was not true.
That's not true at all.
Right. So after he died, you became her lover?
No.
No, before that?
No, I'm 91. That's like...
Way past.
Kurt passed away in 94, so...
Oh, so
I had a relationship with her before she started going out with Kurt. Yeah.
You have to tell me about that off the air. Like, no, she's good in the sack. I bet she can really.
Wondered.
I bet she can really groove. Yeah. Although Elena looks like she's really built for action.
Believe me.
Yeah.
Elena is. She makes.
I like that.
She'd make you forget anyone you ever knew.
Really?
Okay. Last one.
Christ.
Wow.
You realize you're probably
that. Okay, so you were Courtney's lover. That had to be insane.
That was pretty insane.
Right. Although that had to be kind of interesting too.
Well, for someone who is kind of right out of the sticks, like I.
I realized I've always hated his interviews. I still hate his interviews.
Yeah.
Did nothing.
I used to like him back then.
No.
It was quite a culture shock.
Right. And how do you kept the friendship going with her? And you said, hey,
on and off.
Right. And you said, hey, listen, you should put out a second album.
I felt very strongly because she got so wrapped up in the idea that she was going to be a big movie star.
Right.
That she didn't think she had to make music anymore.
And you thought it was important that she make music because she is talented.
Absolutely. In our world.
So was she mad at him talking about her during this?
Kind of. Yes. She's very passive aggressive, and she comes on like a month later or 2 months later and tries to set him
Well,
straight.
but I have this, Joan Rivers. Let me move on.
No, that's just like that's horrible audio, but it's the first time they ever met. So Corgan and Marilyn Manson are at the Private Parts premiere that Joan Rivers and Melissa are hosting, and she's pretending to go down on Marilyn Manson all the time.
I'm gonna lower it because
its audio is terrible.
Oh my Christ!
This is the first time you ever did the show.
The mic under a pillow.
Who's that other one?
It's his. I don't know. It's like his bandmate. It said Madison Square Garden. Oh, I hate men too, Rick.
What are we doing with this clip? What was?
I have no idea.
Okay. Okay. Moving on.
And that's the first time he's ever done the show, Corgan. That was
I didn't want to.
Oh, pause. Whoa. Let me set this up. I just found this by accident. She talks about Corgan, but as she walks in, she just trundles into the men's room while Tom Chiusano is taking a piss. And like you could get away with the reverse of that. And I thought I'd put that in. It's very interesting.
Jesus. Okay, here we go.
Where's the restroom, Gary?
We just passed it behind you there.
Can I use the boys' room?
Yeah. You want to make sure there's no boys in there? I think she's going for another cigarette.
I hate men.
RadioGunk. Did you get a good look at anybody in there?
No, I ignored them. I embarrassed them, I think. But I didn't want to walk backwards.
Help me evacuate. Hey, Tom, a little thrill for you, huh?
Oh, I'm much taller than I thought.
Yes.
So funny. They used to pull Tom in for like absolutely anything that was going on.
I turn around to leave, and she walks in, and I said, she said, I gotta go. I don't care.
Really? And were you in the middle of peeing or something?
No. I was done. I was getting ready to walk out.
You should have attacked her.
Yeah,
That's a great idea. That's exactly what you should do.
That's right.
Yeah. That's exactly what
She's
you
what
should
the
do.
kids call a basic bitch. The best Tom Chiusano moment ever is our man Casey going at it with him in 2005. That is the most insane argument I've ever heard on the show.
Can we play that one day? Can we just
it is.
I've always been really competitive.
Okay, let's do
with guys that we tour with, Billy, whatever, and
she sounds kind of cogent in this. Is she
cogent?
Was this during a time period where she wasn't actually completely jacked up and wasted?
Are you in a feud with Billy Corgan of the Smashing Pumpkins?
No.
He came on here. He was feuding with.
No, I've never watched the Stern Show, Mr. Vinegar. No, I had no idea.
I know he was grumpy.
He wrote some of the songs on the album, and you don't want to give him credit.
He wrote the dun-dun, riff.
Right, that's great.
I have to say, can you still hear me, Amon? Oh, yeah. Okay. I have to say that me and Melissa really looked at each other and we're like, no self-respecting girl could write a riff that cheesy. So Melissa's like, does it have to be the first single? I'm like, when we get to the bridge, which we wrote, which is pretty, it'll be great. But also Eric wrote that riff with Billy. It's just.
So you feel Billy's looking for too much credit for the album?
No. I think he's just really paranoid that I'm going to go out and say. Basically, when he called to help, he's like, you need to submit to this process of everyone saying that I did everything. And I was like, Billy, I don't want to.
Right.
I don't. My ego's too out. Vocal phrasing and.
So are you friends now with him?
We are psychic, historic, mythic, great.
So you don't talk to each other?
No, because I don't want to go hang out, at Moomba.
You don't want to hang out with him?
No, at those places.
Where does he hang out?
With the models and.
That's not your thing.
It's boring.
What do you do all day?
Me?
Yeah.
Yesterday I got up and did yoga.
Right.
I went to.
And how long?
Oh my God!
She took Frances Bean to soccer practice.
There's nothing.
Just before she started frying her hair white
Intolerable.
or blonde, platinum, I guess.
Absolutely. Can we see what she looks like today? I'm curious.
Oh, she's a train wreck now.
Courtney.
Oh no, she don't look good now.
No, she doesn't look good at all. It's been ridden hard and put away very wet.
Courtney really hated Dave. Remember when she was on and she said that Dave was chasing her all around LA or something, trying to fuck the shit out of her after Kurt died?
Jesus.
I don't know if Dave Grohl would be.
What, Xavier?
On her.
That was her thing. She said that Dave was a cool kid in high school, and they would just oppose her to do the grunge.
Yeah, right.
Wow.
It's
She
jock
said he
rock.
was a jock. There
The
you go,
Foo Fighters are jock
He was
rock.
a jock
right.
and a cool kid.
And they laughed at him behind his back.
she
Kurt
wrote that
laughed at him. I don't
stupid song
believe that
with
at all either.
She wrote a song called "When the Drummer Sings." It was just cringe.
Yes. Oh fuck.
Cringe.
All right.
Takes me back. Remember? She's an asshole, man.
Here she
You
is.
are not.
Her
sir.
daughter hates her.
Yeah, she does. You're right. She really hates
Jesus.
Here she is.
Oy
Courtney Love,
vey.
58, bears all. With her no regrets.
She looks like Madame the Puppet.
Yes.
Oh my
Who am I,
God.
wailing flowers over here?
I mean, she states, I guess drugs can keep you skinny.
Skinny.
Another picture of her. Let me see.
Jesus. Oh,
Yeah,
dear
it's
Christ.
the mouth. It's the whole thing there.
She
The
just looks
Joan
rough.
Rivers stuff
That's a
going
hard
on her
life.
face.
There was a point apparently in the trust where Frances Bean got all the power and all the money, and Courtney just lost her mind.
She lost her shit.
She's essentially
absolutely.
did Amanda Bynes when that happened. She just completely fell apart.
Frances Bean's a super nepo baby. I mean, you talk about getting all
Oh,
of
she
the
really is.
artists, right?
Yeah. Good call, man.
Well, I have a friend who was a roadie
She lives
for
right here in Point Loma in San Diego.
was a roadie for Paris Jackson, who is like the ultimate nepo baby. She
Can't imagine why.
She's a sort of a singer, and she's sort of goes out and
Well,
does concerts. And
Is it really nepo when your dad isn't really your dad?
listen, your last name's Jackson. We'll take it.
Get to third base any way you can, X, whether it's errors or actually hitting a triple.
So that's her right now.
Yeah, she looks very Madonna, Madonna-like.
Horrible.
How old is she? She's like
58.
early 50s.
58.
What? 58.
58.
Oof, that's real rough for 58.
Yeah, she's had a lot of surgeries though. She's done a lot of shit
It's
to
actually
herself.
miraculous she made it 58.
Yeah,
Well,
it's
yeah,
actually
I mean-
shocking that
Shit,
she's
she
still
did.
alive.
Her and Artie should be like a couple.
Do you
Oh, they had
think
a
that
great-
her
they had a great
daughter?
discussion.
Do you think that her daughter gives her money?
At
Yeah.
this point, probably.
You know what? It's a good question.
What Xavier
I can
was
see
saying
that
there,
the
I think
daughter's taking care of her.
I think she was paying her a wage when what you were just saying like a couple of minutes ago, Xavier, when she had all the money. She was giving Courtney money. Her daughter's
She had
probably
to.
really
Yeah.
normal because
But,
of
I mean,
the
if you
fucked up
literally-
upbringing.
Frances Bean could literally live comfortably off of just the Nirvana T-shirt sales.
She does
Just the
paintings and
T-shirts
shit.
alone
Like
make millions and millions a year.
Yep.
That
Frances
happy face
Bean
Nirvana
net
shirt?
worth.
Dude.
Oh, it's not that much.
Those things are never correct. You know
Well,
How much does it say? Just out of curiosity.
All right, what would you think?
There's Sarah's a Francis.
I don't
If
know,
it is,
like
if it's
20,
under half
20
a
to
half a
30?
billion, it's garbage.
Okay, gonna share this so that you can see what it says.
It's going to be, what, 20 million? Oh, there
Oh,
we go.
bullshit.
That's gotta be.
Nah,
Oh, come on, please.
Oh, sorry. Look at this. Frances Bean Cobain inherited Nirvana estate according to celebrity net worth. Once Cobain's daughter turned 30, which was in August of last year, she inherited $200 million.
The Brinks truck.
my Lord.
Beep, beep,
Oh,
beep,
my
beep.
God.
And dude, she lives in a very humble home here in Point Loma, and so she's she's even admitted that she feels guilty getting all this money for not doing dick.
She is the second home in Mastic Shirley. I don't know if people know that. It's right on the beach.
Nice little shack on the
What?
beach.
Say what you will.
Little
She's
chateau.
at least not zoozazooing.
No. She actually looks like she's coherent
What
and
does she
not
do?
making weird videos.
She paints. Johnny Depp bought her paintings very recently for
Look
a
how
lot
cute
of money.
she is. She looks so pretty.
Yeah.
She is very striking.
She really is. She's a very attractive girl, and she looks like her dad, thank God.
I hate men.
Shut up. All right, that's Frances Bean. All right, so that is it for us tonight. I'm thrilled that we got out of here in an hour 38, and that's simply because we had, Smashing Pumpkins. Nirvana sells more shirts than albums. Every teen girl wears Nirvana shirts.
Yeah, it's crazy.
All
Yeah,
about the
that's the
smiley
truth.
face logo. T-shirt brand, not a band. That's brilliant, and that's probably very true. Yeah.
Well, yeah, the record label can't take that money, so the band gets all of it, apart from
That's
the,
amazing.
you know,
Could you imagine
yeah.
being a Foo Fighter and also being Nirvana
That's the
and
thing.
being like a
That's
Dave
striking
Grohl?
lightning
Dave could have
twice.
just walked away, like Chris did. They just on that Nirvana money is just that's never gonna run
Yeah,
out.
yeah.
And then you add the Foo Fighter
yeah.
stuff on it, man, dude.
Oh,
Dude is-
God.
And it would be different if the Foo Fighters were like a one-hit wonder or just came
No.
out with like one,
No, they're
body of work.
beloved.
They're just so good. They're so good.
Wasn't Dave Navarro in like 5 successful bands too?
Actually, he was.
He's always.
Like, I can't even keep up with the bands.
I saw him right before COVID, and his daughter was singing backup for Foo Fighters, and she was great. And it's interesting. I just found out that for the Depeche Mode concerts, Dave Gahan's daughter is actually, and her band is actually opening for them.
You are going to have the best night, Mon. Photos, please.
Who's it? Jamie Navarro.
I just saw the set list, as a matter of fact, because they just started concerts like 2 nights ago.
And Mon, which hat will you wear? Tell everyone.
I will buy a new hat. I will buy a new hat.
You got to wear the DA, the Dabbler's hat, the rare hat.
The Dabbler's
It
Anonymous.
is a rare hat. I think you and I are the only people that have that hat. Seriously.
She bought me the hat and mailed it to Australia, and it wouldn't have been cheap. It's a rare hat, so I appreciate that. Thank you to the Mon.
You are very welcome. Oh, I should definitely live stream it.
She tied it to the back. Tied it to the back of a kookaburra. I mean.
All right, guys, thank you so much for participating with us tonight. We will see you again anon, and we'll talk about the same shit except a day later. Thanks all the boys for participating tonight. There's nothing I love more than a good sausage fest. Hey guys, thanks for hanging with us tonight. Please join us for any further discussion at RadioGunk.com in the forums section. Follow us on Instagram and Twitter at RadioGunk. And don't forget to like this and subscribe to us and hit that little bell so you know when we're doing a new show. Thanks.